guys, what's going on? It's Nick Wood. It's your boy, the king of digital real estate, of rank and rent, of rent then rank, of local lead generation. And let's talk about saturation. Let's talk about saturation, not with concrete or with tree service, but saturation with the business model in general. This is a question I get all the time. I've got a lot of different videos where I talk about it, but what I want to share today is when we will actually know that this model is saturated. Because at some point, I mean, let's talk about drop shipping, right? We could probably safely say drop shipping is saturated. Everybody knows what drop shipping is. Everybody knows multiple people that do drop shipping. You could probably say the same for FBA. And even when I was getting into rank and rent, when I was looking at different business models, this is back in 2015 when I was trying to get out of my door-to-door sales job and I was looking at different stuff. I had a neighbor, he was doing FBA. No, he was doing FBA, and he's like, hey, you need to buy this course, and it walks you through how to pick the perfect product. But everybody knew about Amazon and selling on Amazon and all this different stuff, right? So again, the question is, how will we know when this has actually become saturated? And I'm here to tell you guys right now that this is absolutely the rank and rent business model of building simple websites in local markets and renting them out for a profit is untouched. It is absolutely untouched. Yes, I think sometimes we get in this bubble because we're on these, these groups, or we're watching this, you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, and so you're getting all these videos recommended, and it's like, oh my gosh, everybody I know is in rank and rent. It's not the case, man. You're in this little tiny teensy corner of the internet and you think it's bigger than it is, but really it's not. And again, I'm going to tell you the answer of how we will know that this is saturated. And it is also going to be the very thing that's going to show you that it is not yet saturated, not even close. We haven't even scratched the surface. And guys, that's why I have a show every single Monday at 10 a.m. MST called Making Hay with Dre. Dre standing for digital real estate, and making hay being you make hay while the sun shines. This is the opportunity. This is the window where we can build, where we can get as many digital assets as we possibly can get our hands onto. And that way, when it does become saturated, we have gone in and we have the getting is good. So go freaking get it. So guys, here's when we're going to know that this sucker is saturated. Okay. When there comes a day when you can literally have a conversation, okay, or multiple conversations, and you can use the term rank and rent, or you can use the term digital real estate in this context, okay? Not talking about meta this, meta that, NFT, but you can literally turn to your buddy or turn to somebody and they say, hey, what do you do for a living? Okay? And you know how most people are like, yeah, I'm in solar. I do solar. I have a solar company. Or I do drop shipping. Or I do FBA. The day when there is a day that you can say, hey, I do rank and rent, okay? And you say that and people actually know what you're talking about, okay? You tell 10 people and 9 of them understand what rank and rent actually is. Then we can start talking about saturation, okay? And I'm not talking about your buddies that are in online marketing. I'm talking about random strangers, random friends and family that have no idea what any of this stuff online is, but they know what rank and rent is, and they probably would know what drop shipping is too. But guys, here's my point, and this is why I am convinced. And I'm not convinced because it just fits into my narrative so neatly, so perfectly, because I happen to have a program that teaches it called Digital Landlords, which you should check out, by the way. No plug, but there's a plug. But because, guys, think about it. If you went, and I always tell people to do this exercise, go and find the next 10 people that you talk to. The next 10 people you talk to today. I want you to ask them, hey, sir, hey, ma'am, I got a question for you. Oh, yeah, what's that? Do you know what rank and rent is? Rank and rent, okay? And I would love you on this video to comment if you got more than 2 people that actually knew what you were talking about, that actually knew what rank and rent is without you having to explain to them what it is, okay? That's step 1 of this experiment/exercise. Step 2 is every single one of those people that doesn't actually know what it is, I then want you to explain what rank and rent is by using the following simplistic definition, which is, oh, it's pretty cool. You build these simple websites in little niches like tree service, concrete. You rank them on Google using some basic SEO, and you literally rent the website. You own it, but you rent the website and the leads, the phone calls. You rent out the phone calls that come on the website for 500, 1,000, 2,000, you name it. Depends on the niche, depends on the city. Costs you less than a couple $100 to build, and you can build unlimited amounts. You don't need to be licensed, you don't need education, and you can literally just rinse and repeat. That's Rank and Rent. And I want you to say that to them. And I want to know how many of them say, oh, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That makes no sense. Every single one of these people will go, huh, that's amazing. That's actually really interesting. That's such a good idea. I can't believe they're going to say, and if you don't tell them that it's not something you invented, it's just something you know about, you're going to look like a genius. They're going to go, dude, that's so smart. I can't believe you came up with that. You have come up with, people do this all the time. I'm like, no, dude, it's a model. It's not like I came up with it. It's just a model that I have attached my wagon to. I've attached my livelihood. I am building my entire future on and staking my entire existence on. It's not the model I created. It's just a model. And it is the best model on the internet, period. Just pass the cop, just saying. So guys, that's the exercise. And when there comes a day when you can say that to 10 people and 8, 9 of them know exactly what you're talking about, or even know what you're talking about, then we can talk about saturation, okay? Guys, I have made multiple 7 figures for the last couple of years in a handful of niches, in a handful of cities, and I am one person, and it is insane. There are niches we haven't even talked about. There are niches we haven't even discovered. There are niches we haven't even tried. There are cities we haven't looked at. I mean, it is so crazy, the potential of this thing. And by the way, every niche that I've ever tried Rank and Rent has worked. It's just that some niches work better than others. Every niche that I have tried has worked. I have always gotten leads, 100%, all the way from assisted living facilities to golf lessons. I have always, including alarm systems. You can get niches, you can get leads doing this with any niche. The question is, what are the ones that are gonna yield the highest return? And that's what we're hitting first. So guys, we ain't even close, man. We are just scratching the surface, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life building this thing, man. And again, as always, the challenge is out there. You find me a business model that checks all these boxes. It's scalable, it's asset-based, it's recurring. You can do it from anywhere. It's cheap to get into. You find me a business model that beats this one, and I am jumping ship. I'll test it out first, and I'll jump ship tomorrow, and I'll make sure that you're handsomely rewarded, okay? But it ain't out there. No one's come up with it yet. Will there one day? I don't know, maybe. I'm not the person that thinks this is the only model, but until then, I am going all in on this model, period, end of story. That's my thoughts on saturation.